My name's Gary Boyer. I'm the mayor of the city of Glendora. And before we begin tonight's presentation, I want to welcome everybody and thank you for coming. It's really important that we all get as educated as we possibly can about what's going to be going on with the Gold Line. This is something that we're going to be dealing with for a number of years to come. Mendel Thompson is our mayor pro tem, and he is actually on the board of directors for the Gold Line Construction Authority, and I'm his alternate on that board. So we're very engaged with the Gold Line as the process goes on, and we've been gone. We actually, Doug Tessiter, a previous mayor of the city of Glendora, is the chairperson for the for the Construction Authority board. Yeah, they have a number of different boards. So. Anyway, I want to thank the Glendora City staff for putting this together and the Gold Line Construction Authority for coming out and putting this information on for us tonight. What you're going to see tonight is basically going to be a big picture overview of what's going to be happening, but there are some details that you're probably going to have some questions on. So as we go through the process, feel free to make notes on the index cards that are in front of you so that you'll be able to pass those up and answer some questions later. You know, we had a meeting Monday night, and the meeting Monday night was for basically covering from Barranca to Pasadena, and then tonight the meeting is more for Pasadena down to Gladstone. But if you're on the west side of the Gold Line and you're going to be affected, there's a lot of information that will pertain to you as well, and don't think twice about asking questions as we move forward. So anyway, there's a lot of things going to be going on. I will, at this point, turn this over, introduce Chris Berner from the Gold Line Construction Authority, and he'll get the program started. Welcome, Chris.
Thank you so much. Good evening. Thank you very much for coming. It is a great pleasure of ours to come here and tell you about the project that will be coming over the next few years. My name is Chris Berner. I am the Chief Project Officer for the Foothill Gold Line Construction Authority. That means I am responsible for the planning, design, and construction of the project. So this is our agenda for this evening. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Construction Authority, what we are, what we do, and how we relate to LA Metro. I'm going to talk about the project readiness and the timeline in which the project will be completed. I'm going to give you an overview of the project, the entire project, and then we're going to talk about some permanent changes that will occur within the city of Glendora, primarily focused on the area that the mayor mentioned from Pasadena to Gladstone. We'll also talk about some temporary impacts that will happen during construction, and we'll talk about our community outreach, and we'll show you some upcoming community events that you are more than welcome to participate in. So the Construction Authority is completely separate from LA Metro. We were created by a state law that was passed back in 1998 that created us to oversee the planning, design, and construction of the Gold Line project from Union Station in downtown LA all the way out to Montclair. It's approximately 37 miles of light rail. That legislation gave us all the powers necessary to build the project. So we have anything that we need, we have the authority to do. It is overseen by a board, as the mayor mentioned. Doug Tessiter is the chairman of our board. And then our board of directors receives feedback from the Joint Powers Authority, or the JPA. That is made up of elected officials from all of the corridor cities. And then also there's a technical advisory committee, which is made up of senior city staff that also provides feedback to us on the project. Because once we're done with the project, we do turn it over to LA Metro, and they maintain and operate the project. They are obviously a very important customer of ours, so we work very closely with them. We have an MCA that outlines how we work together between them and us, and we design the project to their standards, and we work very closely with them in safety. Safety is paramount in building this project. These are our board of directors. The top are voting members, the bottom are non-voting members. And we have a grassroots approach to the project. We work very closely with the corridor cities, want to make sure that we get feedback and try to address the concerns as best as we possibly can. We do that through the TAC and the JPA and various different community outreach events. This is a map showing the goal line. The combined 3 phases of the project are equivalent to approximately $3 billion. The first phase went from Los Angeles out to Pasadena, opened in 2003. We're very proud that the project was completed on time and within budget. Went through 3 cities, 13 stations, 13.7 miles. We just recently completed the second phase of the project from Pasadena to Azusa. It's very close by here. At Citrus is where the terminus is at the moment. We also completed that project on time and within budget. It was 11.5 miles, went through 5 cities, 6 stations. Some project very similar to the project that we are planning right now, and that's the Glendora to Montclair project. It's a 12.3 miles, 6 cities, 6 stations, and the groundbreaking is going to be October 21st of this year. This is a map of the entire build-out that Metro is working on, LA Metro is working on, of a rail system through Measure M and Measure R. Our responsibility is up there, sort of in the upper right-hand corner. That's the part of the whole network that we build. Generally, Metro builds the rest of the system. The Expo Construction Authority did build the Expo line, but generally Metro is responsible for the rest of the system. We divide the project up into 5 phases as it moves along. We've completed the alternatives analysis back in 2003, and in 2013 we completed our environmental document and selected a route alternative for the project. Since then, we have been working on the engineering of the project. We are going to build the project generally with what's called a design-build method. So we advanced the design to approximately a 30% level. Some elements of the design will go to a 60% level. At that point, we will procure a design-build contractor to build the project, and they will take over the design, they'll complete the design, and they will construct the project. So that is expected to be complete in 2026, and then the project will go into revenue service. The project is funded by Measure M and Measure R. We were approximately $100 million under budget on our last project, so we were able to roll that money over into this project, and then other Measure M funds will are a big portion of the project funding. This shows a timeline of the project. We are going to complete it using 2 different contracts. The first is a relatively small utility relocation contract. There are 11 utilities in that package, 3 of which are in the city of Glendora. We plan on awarding that contract in September and beginning it in October with our groundbreaking. The other contract is a large contract. We call it the alignment contract. That includes all the other elements of the project. So it's a very large project and it has a large, almost the entire project is in that one contract. We plan on awarding that contract in December of next year, 2018, and they will probably begin work in January of 19. As I said, it is a design-build project, so you'll see underneath the alignment contract bar there that they do the final engineering work. And then we look at it as sort of 2 projects in one, because right now there is an existing freight track that runs the entire length of the project, and it is right in the middle of our alignment. Our alignment's about 100 feet wide, and we have to shift that track. In Glendora, we shift it to the south. And when I say shift, we actually rebuild it to the south, and that will make room for our light rail system to the north. So we kind of look at it as 2 projects in one. The first project is reconstructing the freight track. It'll be all brand new track. The crossings will be all brand new. And then once that is complete, we will come in and build our light rail system to the north of that relocated freight track. So it is a light rail system. I don't know how many people have ridden the Gold Line, but it is very close by. So if you haven't ridden it, I would suggest, if you have some time, go check it out. You're very close to it, and the arrangement that is in Azusa will be very similar to the arrangement of tracks. It'll be very similar to the arrangement that will be in Glendora. It's important to note that we are not Metrolink. It's not a Metrolink service. Metrolink operates diesel locomotives. Ours is electrified. Ours is quieter, cleaner. Our trains can carry up to 200 Our trains can be in 1, 2, or 3 cars, and each car can carry up to 200 people. And each car is self-propelled. They're not like the Metrolink where there's a locomotive that pulls cars. So each of our cars is self-propelled, and it can operate in 1, 2, or 3 car trains. This is a map of the entire 12.3 miles. It does go through 6 cities. It actually goes into San Bernardino County. There are 6 stations, one in each city. This is an overview of the entire project, the elements of the entire project. Like I said, it's 12.3 miles. Our track is generally within the existing owned right-of-way. We don't have to acquire a lot of property to make room for our tracks. It is powered by overhead wires. The entire corridor is shared 100% with either Metrolink or freight. Throughout Glendora, it is only freight. There are 6 new stations. Each will have an intermodal parking facility. There's 28 at-grade crossings. 23 bridges will be either built or renovated throughout the project. There are 11 traction power substations. These are the things that power the train. It is an electric train, so we need these traction power substations to power the train. And there will be pedestrian crossings at each of the 6 stations, either over or under the tracks. Okay, this shows the Glendora station site plan. It is between Vermont right here and Glendora Avenue right here. The station is the station area right there. This is the parking structure. Access to the parking structure will be off of Vermont. We will have the yellow is how the pedestrians are able to access to the station. So you'll be able to access it from all different directions, north, south, east, east and west. And there will be an intermodal facility. So it will allow for shuttles to drop people off, people to kiss and ride, which is basically a drop off for cars. There'll be good pedestrian access. We are working with all the transit providers to ensure there's good connections with bus stops, and there will be bicycle facilities for people to park their bikes when they get on the train. This is the existing condition now. This gives you just a general idea of what it will look like when the station is there. Each of the rail crossings is governed by the California Public Utilities Commission. We cannot make any modifications to the crossings or install a new crossing without their approval. And we classify the crossings in 3 different categories. One is at grade, and that means the track and the roadway are in the same plane, they intersect. That's like all of the existing crossings today are at grade. A grade separated is when the tracks go over top of the roadway and they're completely separated. And then we also classified pedestrian crossings. On this project, the only pedestrian crossings we have are at the stations. This is a list of the crossings in Glendora. The ones that are in yellow are the ones of the focus of tonight's meeting. And so it gives you an idea of all of the crossings in Glendora. Glenwood and Elwood are currently at grade, but the California Public Utility Commission has requested that one of those crossings be closed at the railroad tracks. Lorraine will be at grade. Route 66 will be grade separated, similar to how it is today. And then there's the 210. There's there's 3 at the 210 grade separations, and then there's the Lone Hill grade separation where the light rail will go over Lone Hill. The freight will remain at grade at that intersection, though. Safety is our paramount concern at the crossings. We install what's called quad gates or exit gates at the crossings. So basically what that means is as you're approaching a crossing, the entrance gate is the gate that will come down to prevent you from driving onto the tracks. We have a gate on the other side of the other direction, the oncoming direction of traffic. There will be a gate that will come down as well. That will prevent people from making a maneuver around the gates. We're also going to have raised medians, approximately 100 feet from the tracks, that will restrict some access for some people that live very near grade crossings. We have a list of those that will be coming up here soon, and you can see if you are affected by that. We'll also install some red curb in that same area, about 100 feet from the track. That means there will be no parking in that area. So those are the turn restrictions. And then Metro also has a look both ways sign that is intended for to protect passengers leaving the light rail project. Lone Hill will be grade separated. This is an engineering drawing of it. We are in the process of just now beginning the design of it, the architectural design of it. We just recently hired a project architect, and we've not yet begun the design of that, but there will be some architectural treatments to that bridge. And the intersection will be improved. All of the intersections will be improved as part of the project. Right now, there may be humps in the road where you kind of drive up and over the tracks. We will come in, we will smooth out the hump as best as possible. We will come in, we'll completely reconstruct the intersections with all new grade crossing panels. You can see the type of work that we did in Azusa is exactly what we will do here. So we will greatly improve the vehicular ride over the grade crossings as well as part of the project. We follow all applicable design standards. Generally, it's Metro standards. Sometimes if we're working on the freight, we follow SCRA standards, which is a Metrolink. We will also follow relevant city standards for clearances of bridges. So some permanent changes that you should expect in the city as a result of the project are at the grade crossings, some street and driveway access changes. As I talked about, generally that's limited to 100 feet within the railroad tracks. That will prevent left turns into the driveways that may be there. And the reason we do that is we don't want cars to stop yielding to oncoming traffic to make a left turn and back up traffic up over the railroad tracks. So we want to keep people off of the railroad tracks to keep them safe. So that's the purpose of the medians. The freight relocation, I described that a little bit, and I have a diagram that shows that. We'll go through it again. We will be installing sound walls throughout the project. Street closures, as I said, the CPUC has requested that either Glenwood or Elwood Avenue be closed at the tracks. And then the train trips today, right now, the freight has two trips a day, one round trip. That will continue to be the case. But the light rail system will operate a significant amount of traffic. More than 200 trains will be going through the city. Very, very similar to what is going on now in Azusa and all the other previous cities that it goes throughout the San Gabriel Valley. So this is a diagram of a crossing here. This is This is the roadway. These are the tracks. This is the freight track. These are the 2 light rail tracks. This is a median that will be approximately 100 feet from the tracks there. There'll be red curb, median, and this is a driveway that will be restricted to right in and right out. You won't be able to make these. You won't be able to make this move. Okay, this is a list of each of the crossings. These are all of the crossings within Glendora, and it shows the properties that do have some restricted access. So if your name or your address is on any of those and you have any questions after the meeting specifically, we can meet with you and talk with you about those. Okay, the freight track relocation right now, as I said, that track is in the middle of the right-of-way. The right-of-way is approximately 100 feet. Generally, it's 100 feet. It does vary throughout the alignment, so it does get smaller and wider as it moves on, but generally it's 100 feet. And that freight track is right in the middle. In order for us to obtain the separation requirements that we need, we have to reconstruct the freight track. And in Glendora, that is going to be reconstructed on the south side. It will still be, it'll vary throughout the alignment, but it will be anywhere from 21 to 30 feet away from the property line. And it is just 1 train a day in the middle of the day. Our light rail tracks will be built to the north, and they will be anywhere from 23 to 32 feet from that, the right-of-way line on the north. Sound walls will be provided where required. We perform a sound analysis that is outlined by the Federal Transit Administration, and that determines where sound walls need to be located. They are generally located where there is a sensitive receptor adjacent to the alignment, and that is a residence or schools. The height of the wall, we're still in the process of determining the heights of the walls. We anticipate that they will be between 8 feet and 12 feet. That can vary from that, but we generally think that will be the height of the walls. As I mentioned, I think several times, the PUC did request that either Glenwood or Elwood be closed at the tracks. So we have requested that some feedback from the city of Glendora, and we will be discussing those 2 options with the neighborhood in that very specific area in the near future. Property issues along the alignment. There are some instances where there are encroachments into our right-of-way. Some of those are legal; they're there on a license, and some of those are not there on a license. They're done essentially illegally. We are going to make every effort to leave those encroachments and design around it if at all possible. There are certainly going to be cases where we can't do that. And we will work with our design builder to work with the homeowner or the property owner to have those encroachments removed. We do own the vast majority of the property we need for the project. There are some pieces of property that we will have to buy. We need a sliver of property near the station that is just to the west of Vermont, near the hospital. And then we'll need property for a parking structure and some other elements of the project, such as at the grade crossing, we'll need very small pieces of property, more than likely, and also for the traction power substations. We are in the process of identifying the property that we need. It will take us some time to do that and reach out to the property owners. This gives a list of the encroachments and sort of a description and the address. So if anyone is affected by that, has any questions, please feel free to meet with us at the end of the question and answer session, and we can answer any questions you have individually. I would like to note that this is a preliminary list. We're not, we believe it's a good list, but we're not we may have to add more as we get into the project and learn more about things. As far as construction impacts, unfortunately, there are going to be some construction impacts. It's just unavoidable. We apologize for that. We're going to do the absolute best we can to keep you informed and keep you informed ahead of time so that you will be able to work around our work and minimize the disruption to you as much as absolutely possible. Some of the construction impacts include extended closures at streets to do our grade crossing work. We prefer to close a street for 3-4 months' time right at the grade crossing where the tracks are. It allows us to do the work more efficiently and get in and get out, and it actually is less of an impact than dragging it on for a long time by allowing some traffic to move through. There are obviously some streets that we may not be able to close, and we will work around that. We're going to work with the city to figure out how best to do that. There will be some construction work done in our right-of-way, mostly earth moving, building some walls, building fences, that type of thing. We are going to get notices out to people. The vast majority of our work will be done during the day, during hours that are authorized by the city of Glendora. There will be some rare occasions where we have to do night work. Generally, that is around bridges where we have to do a full closure of a street, that type of thing. We will work with the city to find the best possible time to do that and get advance notice out and provide good detours for people so they can avoid that work as much as possible. As I said, we are going to follow all the city rules, and we are going to have a very robust community outreach program that will get notifications out to people as early as possible. And it's important to note that the impactful work is not expected to begin until late 2019, really at the earliest. There will be some activities going on, but it will not be significant. So it'll be quite a while before this construction work really gets up to full speed. As I said, we have a very robust outreach program. We're going to get notices out to people for construction. We're going to do a lot of electronic media, e-alerts, text alerts, community walks. We will have stuff on our website. We will provide that to the city so they can put it on the city's website as well. We'll have newsletters. We have Twitter, Facebook, all of those types of things you can sign up for. And we will have community accessible offices. So if during the day you want to come in and ask any questions, we will have hours available for people to do that. There's a construction safety program for schools and the community, and then there are goal line tours that we offer. That you can come out and you can ride the system and get to know what will be coming to your neighborhood. Sign up to receive project updates at our website there. And these are some upcoming community events. We're going to have an open house. It will be, we have 6, one in each of the corridor cities. The activities will be they'll be all the same. So if you can't make the one that is in Glendora on August 7th, please come out to one of the other ones. You won't be missing anything. They are all basically the same. We will have workstations. You'll be able to walk around and look at different elements of the project and ask questions on any specific thing that you like. Also, we're having a groundbreaking on October 21st. It will be open to the public, so feel free to come out and to that event. Very close by, it's over at Citrus College. So that concludes the presentation, and I think now we're ready to open it up to questions. Okay, this is a good question. Will the Glendora station open first, or will you open the entire segment together? We will open the entire segment together. The way the project is built, it's a long linear project. It's kind of built in that fashion. It'll be kind of built along the alignment, And it's very expensive to open up a line, very labor intensive. So we do it once. We have to test the entire system, make sure everything's functioning properly. And once all that is done, we will open the project up to the entire, for the entire alignment. When will you have the design for the Lone Hill Avenue Bridge? We have, as I said, we've just recently hired a project architect. That architect will be tasked with doing that. That will be one of the first elements of work. I don't have a schedule. As I said, we just hired them. We don't have a schedule for that right now, but I would hope that would be completed near the end of the year. We would have at least a draft. Our goal is by February to have all of the project architect's work done. So I hope to have it done by February at the latest, earlier if possible. Scott, what do you mean by utility relocation? Well, in the project, there are certain requirements that we have to comply with that are updated from when the project was completed before. So as we're building the project, we have to look at each utility, and some have to either be reconstructed, they have to be lowered, or they have to be protected in place for the system. So in any of these types of projects, the first thing you have to do is relocate the utilities and comply with all the new standards before you can start building the project. Okay, let's see here. Okay, this says, since the Goal Line Authority has okayed a $3 parking fee at Monrovia, Irwindale, APU Citrus, 420 car spacing structure because of no parking spaces available, will Glendora increase the size of its parking facility? So Metro right now, we did not create the $3, that is correct. Metro has implemented a $3 parking fee at those 3 parking structures. They are looking at possibly having a fee for parking at all of their parking structures throughout their entire system. We don't control that. That's an LA Metro decision. But as the project is built and is opened up, as we saw on the last phase where the terminus was at Sierra Madre Villa in Pasadena, that parking structure was full. Now that the project is built out, that parking structure is about 50% capacity. So as the project moves out to the east, the vast majority, there will be less stress on the APU Citrus College. There'll be less stress on the Glendora parking structure. So so that should take care of that concern there. Will Glendora Police Department personnel be paid by the Goal Line to ride the Goal Line as a police force? Who will pay them? That is a Metro, LA Metro are the people who operate the line, and they take care of having a police force. In the most recent, over the past several years, it has been the LA County Sheriff's Department, and they did fund the LA County Sheriff's Department to have deputies on the train to provide that police force. I am aware that LA Metro is looking at making some changes to their security. I don't know the details of that, but if whoever is going to provide the security services for it, they will be reimbursed by Metro.
You want to talk about how the city's police force is engaged in the project?
Yes. So we have what's called a Fire Life Safety and Security Committee that oversees the safety and from a fire life safety standpoint to make sure that if there is any kind of emergency that the fire department will have good access to the system. They'll have whatever necessary needs that they have, such as water, that type of thing. So we do not open the project without getting a certificate of occupancy from our Fire Life Safety Committee, Fire Life Safety and Security Committee, and that's made up of the local fire jurisdictions and the local police jurisdictions. So Glendora Police Department is very much involved in the project, and they're aware of what we're doing in building the project. Okay, this is a good one. Since the LA County Sheriff's Department arrested a man with loaded weapons in Pasadena, will the goal line install metal detectors at each station? That is not a requirement of the project right now, and I don't think it's contemplated. That is an LA Metro decision to do something like that. That is, obviously this is a one-time occurrence, but any of those types of big policies would be made by Metro. They're the body that considers those types of things, and they would make that decision. Who decides which street will be closed, Glenwood or Elwood, and when will this be decided? Well, we're going to go through a process, and we're going to work with the city. We're going to have an event upcoming in the next few months where we're going to meet with the different communities, get feedback from the people who live in the immediate area, and we will work the city to come up with what the best option is. Will there be a flyover bridge at Grand and Foothill? Yeah, there will be a bridge there that the light rail will go over Foothill and Grand. The freight will remain at grade. Very similar to what is going to happen at Lone Hill. There are 3 grade separations within all of Glendora, Foothill and Grand, Route 66, and then at Lone Hill. So there are 3 there. That's the last card that I have. Any other questions? Yes.
How high will that bridge go? Do you know yet?
Yes.
I knew that was coming.
I'll let Dennis answer that. maybe all 3.
Dennis, talk right into the mic and repeat the question.
You wanted to know how high the clearance under the bridge at Foothill and Grand will be. What we're using right now, a absolute minimum of 16 and a half feet from the roadway elevation to the bottom of the bridge. That particular structure, because it is so long, it's going to be a deep girder, so it probably will end up being a little higher so that they can cast it in place. So you need false work under it. So right now, again, the design builder will come up with the final number. We're looking at somewhere better than 17 feet. And again, that's from roadway to the bottom of the bridge. That bridge is going to be about 13 feet deep. That girder is about 13 feet deep, and the rails will run on top of it. Yes, ma'am.
Can I read that one slide correctly where it said that there would be 200 does it run 24 hours?
It does run, I don't know the exact hours, but it does begin operations somewhere around 4 or 5 a.m., and it completes operations around midnight or 1 a.m. There is a timetable that you can find on metro.net that will provide the timetable at Azusa Citrus, which would give you a good idea. But it is 21 hours a day. Now, it does become, there are a lot more trains in the AM and PM peak period, which would be roughly, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. and say 4 to 6 p.m. And there's less during the day, and there's a lot less on, in the extreme early hours and the extreme late hours. There's a lot less. They stagger them, and they have more time in between the trains. And her question was how many trains a day will be coming through, verifying that it is more than 200.
And that's in both directions.
Yeah, and the 200 is in both directions.
Why wouldn't you relocate the freight line to the grade separation instead of at grade?
Why wouldn't we include a bridge for the freight?
Why wouldn't you do that?
You want to answer that question, Dennis? But the length,
Yeah, I know.
and repeat the question.
The question really is, why aren't we bringing the freight up and over those grade crossings, both at Lone Hill and at Foothill Grand? The primary reason is because freight, let's go the other way. Light rail can operate at higher speeds and can climb steeper grades than a freight train can. So we can get up and over quicker, basically getting back down to grade. If we had to bring freight, just as an example, you looking at Foothill Grand, by the time we got freight up high enough to get over there, we would have to close Barranca because we wouldn't be back down to grade yet, and we would probably have to close Vermont because we wouldn't be back down to grade yet with the freight track. So we're saying, and again, for one train a day, we're looking at it and saying, that's basically what you got today, and we are going to take the light rail up and over so you don't, you minimize impact to those busy intersections.
Any other questions?
Actually, you want to go? I want to ask, as you guys are relocating the freight trackage, are you guys also going to relocate the signals in the freight trackage, or are you going to put new ones entirely?
The question is, while we were relocating the freight track, are we going to relocate the signals? And the answer is yes. We're going to completely rebuild the freight tracks and the systems and the grade crossings. So right now the grade crossings are maybe not in the best condition. When we're done, they'll be brand new, and they'll have all concrete crossing panels, all new grade crossing protection equipment, and a new signaling system.
Oh yeah, I mean,
for the
that's
system.
yeah, the signals like the one that like Hello Train when they're doing when not like the
Yes.
one on.
That will be all rebuilt. Okay, we will be available after the meeting if anyone has any specific questions that they want to ask. Feel free to stick around, and we'll stay as long as we need to answer all your questions. Thank you.
Wow, everybody is so quiet. Okay, think of how exciting this is. How many people here are old enough or willing to admit that you're old enough to have lived in Glendora when the 210 freeway split the city in half? There's no way you're old enough for that. And then we had the extension of the 210 freeway going on out to San Bernardino. Well, this is another type of project that is going to be tough. There's going to be a lot of disruptions in the city, but it's going to be a great thing for the city of Glendora, and we're really excited about it. We've been talking about this for a long time. You're finally starting to see the construction beginning. It's still a long time off. This train's not going to be running in a couple of years. We're still probably talking 8 to 10 years out before we're going to be getting on the train here. But one of the things I want to ask for all of my friends and neighbors here in Glendora to start thinking about. We all talk about, I hear people all the time going, boy, I can't wait till the Gold Line gets here so we can hop on a train and go to Pasadena. I want us to start talking to our friends and neighbors about, you know what, when the Gold Line gets to Glendora, you're going to be able to hop on the train and come to Glendora and visit us more often. You're going to be able to come out here, visit our restaurants, shop in our stores, spend money here, and we want to bring people here. We don't necessarily want to take people out of the city of Glendora. We want everybody to see how great of a place Glendora is to live. So everybody will be sticking around to answer questions. Thanks to everybody for coming, and seriously, guys, get excited about this. This is great news. Thanks, guys.